Welcome to a training video for Fortress Backup MySQL, a free tool to backup and restore databases for PayPal Professional 4.0 and other Greynote software products. It's quick and it's easy. Use this Fortress to protect yourself from dangers such as power outages, power surges, hardware failure, viruses, ransomware, fire, flood, theft, sabotage, and more. These dangers can all cause data loss and disrupt your business operations significantly. Unfortunately, there have been cases where a few of our customers lost most or all of their data because they were not backing up at all. Others because they were not backing up regularly or not backing up correctly. Many also assume that backups are being done without checking to verify whether they are or not. In the event of a lost or damaged database, if you have no backup but have the raw data files, we should be able to recover most or all of your database records. But it's a long and detailed process which can take a day or more. And while we have been successful in the few cases we have had so far, we also cannot guarantee that any of your records can be recovered. And finally, there is a data recovery fee of 1,500 Barbados dollars per database for successful recovery. You can help yourself and avoid the disruption and the extra cost by making regular backups, and our training videos show you how to do that. This video focuses on restoring your databases. So let's show you how it works. This is the login screen. It is similar to the login screen of PayPal Professional 4.0 and other Greynote software products, except that it does not connect to a database, nor does it build a new database. It only connects to a server. So I'm going to put in my user ID, password, and login. To do a restore, which is the focus of this video, you must first have backups that you're going to restore from. And there's some things which you need to know beforehand in order to do a restore. This is the backup screen. At the top of it there is a folder, and that's a folder where the backups are stored. This setting is usually saved. I have that folder here, and we can view where the backups are in a moment, but there's some other things I want you to look at first. There's a list of databases on the current server which I'm connected to, which is Steve MB. Those databases are listed here, so there are 47 databases in total. And so I know the names of some of the existing I know how many databases there are in total, and I know where the backup folder is set to. So let's go to the folder, click on it, and this is a list of backups that have been done. Now the backups are inside of folders. These are folders, and the backups that were done are inside of these folders. In the earlier demo for the backup, I created 3 backup sets. First I backed up 1 file, which is in this one here. Then I backed up 5, which is in this folder here. And then I backed up all 47, which is in this folder here. Now if you look at the folder names, they're quite useful in telling you when the backup was done and which server they were done on. If you look at the list, let's start at the first entry in the list. The first part of the folder name is the year. That's 2021. These ones down here have 2020. So we have some from 2021 and we have some from 2020. The next part is the month. So this is May 2021. This is April 2021. This is July 2020, and this is May 2020. Next you have the day. So these were done on the 23rd of May 2021, these first 3. then that's today's date. Then these other two were done on the 22nd of May. This one was the 29th of April. And the oldest ones we have 1, 2, 3, 4. These 4 were done at various times on the 10th of May 2020. The times are reflected next. You've got the hour in 24-hour time. You've got the minutes and the seconds. So these ones were done at, the first one was done at 5:05 p.m. Next one at 5:10 p.m. and then the next one at 5:11 p.m. You've even got the seconds there. Then there's a description. It says backups for. That'll be important when we do the restore. But the ones that are done from the backup screen will have backups for in the name of the folder. We also have the date, including the day and the date displayed in a more easily readable format. So I can look at the end, near the end of the file, and I can see Sunday 23rd of May, Sunday 23rd of May, Saturday 19th of September 2020. Finally, at the end of the folder name is the server from which the backups were made. So most of these contain backups from the server Steve-NB, but this particular one contains backups that came from the server Kishon-PC. It's important to point out that when you log into the software, I logged into Steve-NB. When I select the backups from here, if I came to Kishon-PC, I'm not restoring files. If I chose to restore from this backup set, I would not be restoring to Kishon-PC. I will be restoring to whichever server I'm currently connected. So if I wanted to transfer files from Kishon-PC to Steve-NB, I sign in, connect to Kishon-PC, do the backup. It gets saved with Kishon-PC to the end to represent that it came from that server. Then when I do my restore, it's going to automatically go to the currently selected server, the server which I logged in with when I was at the login screen. So in this manner, you can restore files from another server. So let's minimize this. Oh, let's look into the files and show you the actual backup files. As I said before, the 3 backups that were done earlier today, in this one I backed up one file. It's PayPack. It's stored as a zip file. The backup is stored in here as a zip file inside of that folder, and that's this file here in the background, PayPack. For the next backup, I did 5 files, and there are the 5 individual zip files. There is barber.zip, there's inventory control, there's PayPack, there's PayPack companies, and there is price list. That's the 5. The third backup contained all the databases. There were 47 of them, and they're all listed here, 47 individual zip files. So if you wanted to restore any of these or all of them, or just one of them, you in the restore process, you can select the ones which you wish to restore. That's done within the software. There's an interface for that. I'm just showing you in the screen where those files are located. So I'm going to minimize this. Let's take it back to the folder list. I'm going to minimize this, and having explained the backup process, what the backup process would have done, the backup has its own video which goes into details how to make backups. It shows you how to use everything in this backup screen, but the focus of this video is restoring databases, and that's what this button here is for. So when the screen opens, you click on restore. You don't have to change anything in here at all. Just click on the restore button, and that will load for you the restore window. Let's start with a look at the layout of the screen, then show you how it works. You have a folder. Ideally, this folder should be the same folder as the folder here in the backup window. You want to keep them synchronized. Under that, you have the year. At the top right, you have totals. There's some totals here. This first total is the number of folders. The other total is the number of backups. They're listed here in this grid. Then the number of existing databases. Then you've got the results. Total of the results. You've got a total for the errors. There's an error log here. That's what they'll be listed here. And coming down underneath it, the main section of the screen you have is divided into 3 panes, which can be resized independently of each other. And the first pane shows a list of the backup folders for the selected year. So we have, let's go back to the list here. There are 8 backups, 8 backup folders for 2020, and there are 7 for 2021, 15 in total. So this filters, this year list filters the folders which you see here. Then we have, for the selected folder, for the selected backup folder, you have the list of the backups, which are the zip files in the particular folder. We have the error log. If there are errors during the process, they will be displayed here during the restore process. Then we have the buttons which control various functions in the restore part of this Fortress Backup MySQL. So let's start at the top. Ordinarily, you're probably not going to need to change the folder. This will be your default folder where you keep your backups. But if you needed to change it to somewhere else, you just click on the 3 dots and then you can navigate to wherever the files are stored. As we would have mentioned in the video for backups, that folder could be a folder on your server, a folder on a flash drive, a folder on a cloud drive. Somewhere accessible where you can easily get your backups and recover from anything bad that's happened as quickly as possible. The year, there's an all option, and then the years for which backups folders are found under this folder here. So 2021, it defaults automatically to the current year, and there's 7 folders there for the 7 backups done in 2021. If you go to 2020, there are now 8 folders and they're listed here. I also have the option to choose all, and that will list everything, which is 15. Okay, so you can look at them there. You can see they're sorted now in here. Let's go back to 2021, and I would have explained when we were looking at the files how the folders are named. The year, the month, the day, the hour, minute, seconds, the day and date, and the server on which they were made. As this list can also be sorted, you can click on the column headers, it will sort ascending or descending. Now, if I click on, let's bring it back to where it was, we want the most recent ones at the top. If I click on this backup folder, that's the one that had the 1 backup. It gives me the day, the date, the time. Select allows me to choose that backup. Existing lets me know that it's an existing backup database. In some cases, you may be backing up, you may be restoring, a database that does not exist. This tells you whether it exists or not. And then there's a completed checkbox, which is ticked when the restore operation is completed. Let's click on this second one in the list, and that's the 5 that were backed up, and that's got the same respective information for those 5, and I can pick any of those 5 I wanted. If I wanted to back up this one, and that one, that's what I would do. There's an all and none button here. If I click all, they're all selected, and you'll see them listed here. If I click none, it turns off the selection option. On the first one in the list, which was the latest one that was done, which backed up the 47 databases, same information again, and I can come here and I can turn on or off the databases as necessary. Now, let's say I want to start by restoring. Let's go from this one here. I'll just pick a few from here. I wish to start by restoring the payback. Okay, just that one. And you see my existence is 1. Let's also choose, let's see if there are any that did not have an existing. Right, this one here has a database that is not existing. See, it has a database on it called Keyshawn Backup, and this checkbox for the existing is off, so that indicates that that is not an existing database. And there are some differences in the prompts which you will receive when you start the operation, which depend on whether it's an existing database or not. If you are restoring a database in a case like this, it's not existing, so it sort of has clearance to go ahead and do whatever it has to do. But if it is an existing database, you could be overwriting current data, and you want to be sure that that's what you want to do. So there are additional prompts when existing databases are being restored. So let's go back to that. Maybe it might have been more realistic if we went back to an older database, like the 22nd of May. Right, but I'm not going to do that in this case. Let's pick from this list here. So let's get back to where we were. We want the payback. I'll just pick 3 of them maybe. We want the inventory control. We want the price list one. That's 3. So I've picked the 3 databases which I wish to restore. They're here. They're all existing databases. The results will show completed as 0 and total as 3. Now, what I will do next is I will click the restore button to start the restore process. It doesn't take long. So I click on restore, and it tells me 3 backups have been selected. Are you sure you want to restore multiple databases? Now, that prompt is there to make sure that anytime you pick more than 1 backup, you are checked just to verify that that's what you really want to do, and that you've not accidentally ticked databases backups which you don't want to do, because it's quite easy that you may have come here and ticked on all without realizing it, and then you say restore. It says 47 backups have been selected. Are you sure you want to restore multiple databases? No, because you only want the few that were there. So let me, I can turn all of them off. There's a none button, all and none. So they're all off now. There's a invert button. So if I have 1, 2, 3 of these on, and I click invert, it takes those 3 off and turns back on the others. Similar to how you can select the databases in the backup screen. So let's go none again just to show you how these buttons work. And we want the payback, we want the inventory control, and we want the price list. 3 of 47. So we click restore. 3 backups have been selected. Yes. Now there's another prompt. The selected backups include 3 existing databases which will be overwritten when restored. It is recommended that the existing databases be backed up before restoring them. That should say them, not it. We'll fix that. Do you want to make a safety backup now? Now, what that will do is it will make a backup of the existing database for you so that if anything goes wrong, either in the process of restoring it, maybe it gets restored but it's the wrong set of information, this safety backup can bring you back to your current state. So it's recommended that you do a safety backup when you have existing databases. If you say no, it will proceed with the restore, but you will not have a safety backup. So best to say yes. So I'm going to say yes. And you see the progress bar, it says making safety backup. That's the safety backups being done. Then it says restoring, inventory control, payback. The size of the database will determine the length of time for the restore. And we are finished. The restore has been completed and the databases have been updated. Now, if I refresh this screen, if I go to the folder, let's go to the folder first of all, and let's have a look here. Previously, there were 15 folders in this list. We now have a new folder that was just created, today's date, at 1:21 a.m. Unlike the others which say safety backups, which say backups, this one says safety backups. So when you see a folder which says safety backups, you know that these are backups which were created when these databases were restored from the backups in this folder. So you've got safety backups and regular backups. So I'm going to minimize that. You can actually see the safety backup in this screen by clicking on the refresh button. There you go. So after you've done it, you can see it there. That's the safety backups in the list. And it shows you, just as the others do, just as the others show the backups listed, the safety backups is displayed the same way, and you can restore from them in the same manner. And they will in turn make their own safety backup, actually, as a matter of fact, for whatever date and time you did it, if you chose the option of the safety backup. So there were no errors during the process. Everything was completed successfully. If there was an error, this errors button would light up and you can click and you can print. You can click on it to print the error log. The next buttons are the settings and the reset. The settings will save the folder. And it just says the folder. Actually, there's nothing else for it to save. The year you select by yourself, there's nothing else really for you to save other than the folder for this particular screen. The reset will clear the settings and the folder will go back to the default folder where the program is installed. We have a video button. If you click on that button, it will launch your browser and show you this video which you are currently watching, so that if there's anything which you need to remember when you're actually doing the restores, the video can show you immediately while you're still in the screen. Oh, there's one thing that the settings saves. I knew there was. It saves the positions of the dividers, because you may want this further here, you may want this further over here, you may want that a little closer. So as you drag these dividers into position for the 3 panes, once you click on the settings button, it saves the folder and the positions of the dividers for the 3 panes 1, 2, and 3. Once you reset, it sets us back to the default folder, and the panes will go back into being evenly divided 3 across the screen. And basically that is it for this video. We've looked at the folder, how to select the year, choosing the folder you wish to backup. In this particular case, this has this one file in there, and it's an existing database. We've looked at how you select the files which you want to restore, and we've shown you how to do the restore. The restore button is disabled if you've not selected a backup. From the time you select one, the count comes up in here and the button is enabled. If no backups are selected, the restore button is disabled. So we see the restore button, the all, the none, the invert, the refresh, what the errors print out, what the errors button does, the settings and reset button, and the videos button. So that's it for this video. Thank you very much for your time as always. It's been a pleasure, and we look forward to our next video presentation. Goodbye.